Attack on Titan Season 3. This season has a lot going on, but it doesn't really start off in that sense. Like, you don't feel like a lot's about to happen this season, just beginning of it. But when it takes off, once again, like Season 1, it takes off and you're just like, okay, I'm enveloped, I'm running to where everything's going on. Let's keep this ball rolling. And Season 3 on Attack on Titan really does pick the ball up and start laying the groundwork and start building the world that is this universe that Eren, Armin, Mikasa live in. And I'm excited to break it down this episode of Movie Breakdown Series Review of Season 3 of Attack on Titan. Let's get this ball rolling now. What's up, world? Welcome to another episode of Movie Breakdowns. I'm your host, Ali Zakka. What's up, world? Welcome to another episode of Movie Breakdown Series Review. I'm your host, Ali Zakka, and what is Movie Breakdown Series Review? We're looking at TV shows, anime, movie series, give them a grade A through L plus and minus to do the count, and then at the end of it all we give an overall grade as well, and based off of what the each season grade was, we give it like the conclusion grade. And this time we're going to talk about Season 3 of Attack on Titan. But before I jump into that, actually, I do want to let you guys know that I have a Patreon/Ali Zakka. And on that Patreon, you can jump in front of everybody else. So when I do reviews, you can ask for it on YouTube. In the comment section below, ask me to do a review. But Patreon, you ask for me to do a review, I do it like that. I get to it, put it up immediately. There's no waiting. There's no a month, 2 month, 3 month wait. You get it like that, and the ball keeps rolling. Plus, I got other content on there, such as trailer reaction, trailer reviews, and much, much more stuff. Keep talking about balls rolling, like I'm not playing basketball or something, because they're keeping the momentum going pretty much. Because Attack on Titan, now I'm done, plugging everything. Season 3 does keep the momentum going. Fun fact, I actually watched this season when it was first coming out a couple years ago, and I was watching it week by week, and I was just like, I can't keep up with it. I am getting bored. The Levi stuff at the beginning of Season 3 really didn't envelop me. And by the way, this is a spoiler review, guys, so if you haven't seen Attack on Titan Season 3, go watch it now before watching my review. I'm going to spoil some stuff. But back to Season 3 of Attack on Titan, it just didn't really wrap me up in it. I was watching it week by week, and I was just like, you know what, this whole Levi guy and this dude named Kenny who's searching down Levi, like when Levi sees him and he screams Kenny at him and charges at him, I was like, I don't care. I don't know who Kenny is, so why should I be shocked when Kenny shows up? And then I rewatched it again for this review. Now, I did watch Season 3 when it first came out and stopped watching it. Then I ended up watching it again last year just for the fun of it, just finish it off. And I ended up picking up where Historia and Eren was captured. So Kenny works for the king. Kenny is Levi's uncle. He works for the king, and he was told to track down the scouts and capture Eren and Krista, whose real name is Historia. You find that out in Season 2, and really everything that deals with her starts to unravel in the first part of Season 3. And that's pretty much what first part of Season 3 is the unraveling of Historia, who she is, who her father is, what their father and the king of Paradise Island that they live on, and all of that stuff. So now you know about this background and how the king, pretty much what he was using the walls for and what they was doing with the Titans. And you also find out more into like how come they didn't try to stop the Titans. And Eren, you learn about him that his father took the founding Titan from the family, from the king's family. The royal family was the family that had the founding Titan, which would have been the Titan that started it all. And the founding Titan, Eren, father took from them for his reason that we don't know quite yet, the first part of the season, took from them for his reason. So Aaron's like just doubting himself, while Historia is like, I don't give a crap about humanity. And this first part of season 3, we talk about like deceit, lies, deceit, and also what your purpose is supposed to be. Like Historia's purpose was supposed to kill Aaron and take the founding titan back, but she's like, screw that, I'm living my own life like how I want to live it. She's like, if Mira want me to do this, I'm gonna do it how I want to do it, screw everything. Ackerman's Kenny's father, and Kenny, who was actually his father too, ended up passing away, but the Ackermans, their purpose is to protect the royal family. So Levi, who is an Ackerman, and Mikasa, who's an Ackerman, they are protectors. That's what they are, and they're a special kind of humans who actually, the king cannot put control over them. They don't follow the same way as everybody else, but they still are known as like protectors for the kingdom. And when something happened, they get pretty much persecuted in a sense. They decide to live underground, where Kenny ended up saving himself by working with the king and helping do his dirty work. If, for the most part, I might got some little things wrong here and there, but for the most part, that's what it's about. And that first half of Attack on Titan season 3 is literally about the king, Historia, the Ackermans, and everything unraveling there. And the artwork, by the way, is really, really good though. Like there's a scene where Levi is chasing down Kenny and trying to fight off Kenny's squad to save Aaron and Historia, and he's like zipping through the city, and it's just like you're tracking Levi zipping through the city, and the artwork with it and the animation is so good, so good. And then the backstory behind the Titans creating the crystals and using their hearting to make like a cave underneath the ground. It's some really cool stuff there. Some really cool stuff that you learn about the kingdom, the royal family. And then, because it's Attack on Titan, Historia's father, who Historia has a horrible background, by the way, I'm not going to spoil it here. Her father becomes a Titan, and they have to find a way to stop him. And there's a pretty cool scene where Historia and the rest of the scouts fight her father, who's in Titan form. He doesn't have a face, but he really tries to take down like the second wall of the kingdom. You have the outer wall, which is Wall Moria. Then you have I believe it's Tross. It's not Tross. I can't think of the second wall. And then you have the third wall, which is also Cena. I'm missing the second one. Let me figure that out real quick. Wall Rose. So Historia's father is trying to attack Wall Rose, and pretty much the scout team stop him from doing so and stop a third invasion at this point of the Titan appearing on the wall. And it's like a little callback to season 1 when the Colossal Titan kicked down Wall Maria, and you get to see the whole like Titan rise up above the wall, and it's like a little reflection on Aaron, where he sees the kids like pretty much mind their own business. Aaron and Armin looks down at the kids who mind their own business, who also but they experience the same thing they experienced years ago. But the only thing that's different is that they have people who can protect them versus nobody who can do anything. And then the second half of season 3, which the soundtrack changed, by the way. So the opening theme for season 3, the beginning was not as good. I really don't like it. And the second half is more similar to the first 2 seasons with their opening theme song. And it pretty much revealed what's about to happen in the second half of season 3. The scouts take Wall Maria. They go back with Aaron's hardening ability and try to take back Wall Maria and clean out the Titans. However, they gotta fight some Titans that are pretty much the special Titans. You have to fight the Beast Titan, the Colossal Titan, the Armored Titan. And there's one more Titan there that they recognize, but they don't know what their ability is or who they really are, but they recognize them. Or recognize that it doesn't seem like the other Titans. They thought it was abnormal kind of find out it's another human that is a Titan, and they fight. It's a pretty epic battle. You get a lot of choices between characters. You get more attached to Berthold and Reiner and see what their viewpoint is and what they're going through and what they've been up to since Historia and Eren been captured. You also have Armin dealing with the fact that like he's now kind of getting promoted to the rank of an officer that even Erwin trusts, and Erwin put his faith into Armin's decision. And then you also have Erwin and his mentality of him want to see out his goals and dreams, because actually there's a point where in first part of season 3, Erwin was going to die. He was going to die, and they end up staging a coup to overthrow the king, the royal king, which ended up being a fake king. It was a figurehead. That's how actually, I didn't get to mention this, but Historia becomes queen because they stage a coup. So Erwin, the reason why he's doing all this because he wants to live out the goal of seeing what's beyond, just like Eren, Armin, Mikasa, seeing what's beyond the wall, seeing what else is out there. So he is taking the scouts to about Wall Mario so they can start venturing forth, and Armin steps up in a big way as a pretty much big thinking piece in this second half of season 3. And the action in the second half of season 3 is really, really done phenomenally well. So good. Like, it is the color, the design, the shock, the awe, the storyline, the setup, all of it is really, really good. And then you get to see like Levi versus Beast Titan, which is a great fight scene where Levi just kicks butt. Or Eren versus the Armor Titan, who is Reiner, in that showdown. Some good stuff. The one thing I didn't like is the animation for the Colossal Titan. It just looked off to me. They tried different animation in this fight, and I don't know. I guess I kind of got used to it in season 4 because it has it in season 4, but really, it's a different animation that's kind of like, thinking really hard about this. But it's some good stuff, some good work. And then the back half of season 3, you find out, more about what's in, one, Eren's father and what's in the basement. So Eren has had a key since season 1. He's had his key, and from the intelligence reports, the scouts believe whatever secrets that is to defeating Titans and revealing the world is in the basement of Eren's house, and they have to get there. And they finally do get to the basement. They find 3 books, and the books reveal pretty much that there is a world beyond the island that they live in. There's a world beyond the walls that they live in. That there's a whole nother life out there, a whole nother other side of things over the sea. And Eren is now, because he has unlocked his father's memories, can pretty much relive his father's memories and relive the memories of other attack titans. Historia, if she's around anybody, she can, because she has royal blood, if she touched anything that a person who's been in contact with a titan or is a titan, she can pretty much get their memories too. And vice versa, like Eren touches Historia and he gets her memories and see everything that she's going through, and just pretty much Titans connections and sharing stuff. And they don't really explain what all that stuff is or how come each person is getting these memories and flashbacks until season 4. But you learn about what happened. You learn about that Eren's father is part of a repressed group of people who are Titans that got stuck on the mainland, while the remaining of the Titans, they all pretty much went to live on this island, or people who didn't become Titans all went to live on this island, and they are getting punished. Those that lives on the mainland are getting punished, and there's a rebellion group that's growing, and eventually they get ratted out. And when they get ratted out, the government is sending them over to the island and turning them into Titans and pretty much setting them loose on pretty much the people of island that's paradise. And on the island, the Titans that get released, to get set foot, you recognize. Actually, in the backstory, when you look at Eren's father's his background, what he's going through, the people he's been with, when they get turned to Titans, they still resemble themselves. And you can see, just looking at the people in the background, the story, and the flashback, that, oh, that's that Titan that Eren faced. That's the Titan that ate Eren. That's the Titan that Armin, took out. Or Eren's mother-in-law, in a sense, or his father's old lover, it was the one who came after Eren's mom and ate her. Now, she did say, and she's part of royal blood too, and this is actually a part of season 2 when Eren punches her. It wasn't that Historia was around while he was able to call on the other Titans like it was once suggested back in season 2, right back in the mangas, all the theories out there. The reason why Eren was able to use the Titans in the time he punched that one Titan that ate his mom was because that Titan was part of royal blood, and Eren, who has pretty much the techniques of the Founding Titan, which is commanding other Titans, can command Titans in that moment. It shock a chord, and he was able to command all the Titans in that moment and use the roaring ability to have the Titans attack whoever he wants to attack. So it wasn't even because of Historios, but because that the lady that he hit was a part of royal blood. And that's just something interesting to talk about there, and how Eren's able to use that. But yeah, you learn about the backstory, and then you learn about, like, it's kind of messed up how they got repressed and get pushed to the island. Everybody else on the mainland is getting, like, they gotta, like, identify themselves, and pretty much kind of like a camp. I can't think of the name of, I wanted to think of it, but like a camp where you hold people hostage, and they're like, oh, you can live your life, but you can't go past this gate. You can't go on before and live another life. You have to stay here. And so it's a really deep stuff in Attack on Titan season 3. The first half and the second half really like Alright, let's go and get into characters. So the first one I want to talk about is Eren. So Eren Yeager, in this season, the first half of it, he's more like getting back to himself. He's trying to figure out what happened. Why was he able to, command the Titans for that moment, and he's pretty much getting back to himself. But then he gets captured with Krista, who is Historia, and then he starts doubting himself. He sees what Krista's seen and how his father stole the Founding Titan. And he's like down himself, like, why me? Why I gotta be the one to do this? And really getting down on himself. Really, really getting down on himself. And then he gets a sense of confidence and saying, you know what? This is what it is. This is what I have to do. And I have to overcome this. And then he gets another vote of confidence of himself when he finds out that his mom's like, you living and you being alive is the greatest gift to this world. And that's all you need to do. Like, you don't need to be super special. You just need to live. And he really found a way to keep his passion up, and anytime he get down on himself, Armin remind him that, hey man, we trying to get to the ocean, we gotta see the sea, and Eren's like, alright, always get reinvigorated anytime he has those dreams and has those moments, like, okay, back into it. But he's a main character who's dealing with a bunch of confidence issues, anxiety, not sure if he's strong enough to overcome certain things and strong enough to do certain stuff. And pretty much it comes down to Armin and Mikasa backing him up, and his group backing him up and reminding him that, okay, this is something he can do. And it's actually been something he's been dealing with since season 1. This is nothing new. This mentality Eren has in this season has been carrying on since season 1. It just constantly grows, and you can see he feels like the weight of the world is on his shoulders, and he has to find a way with his teammates, and people keep getting killed for him to step up. So Eren's growing in that sense. He's still struggling, but he's trying to get better at it, and you see him working on it. And there are times in season 3 where he throws it away and he just keeps fighting and not letting go till he can finally see the sea at the end of the season 3. They finally get to it after they clog up Wall Maria. They finally do get to the sea, and they finally get to see what the pictures and images have of the world beyond the wall. Yet Mikasa Ackerman, who Mikasa realizes that she is pretty much Levi's cousin, and they're related, She is still the strong character. She's the backbone for Eren, always looking out for him because she loves him. But that's pretty much her thing. A badass who's just kind of there to protect Eren. Armin Arlette, oh fuck, I can't spell his name for some reason. Armin Arlette, he is still like Eren, struggling with the ideal of commanding people, struggling with the idea of him like being confident enough to be strong enough to say like, no, this is what I'm saying, this is what we should do, this is what we should work on. And you see him struggling through that when he is put in roles of leadership. He is still struggling to say, all right guys, we gotta do this, all right guys, we gotta do that, all right guys, I need y'all to check the walls here, check the walls there. And there's a scene where his plan backfires and he's kind of breaking down, and John has to step up and step in for a moment to be like a secondary leader, because Armin is struggling to get it right together until he thinks of a plan to defeat the Colossal Titan. So Armin is stepping up, Armin is becoming more of a brain piece. And actually there's a scene where he is pretty much about to die and Captain Irvin's about to die, and Levi has to make a choice who to revive. And Mikasa and Eren makes a strong point that Armin is the one who helped them get through a lot of stuff, while Captain Irvin, or Commander Irvin, is the one who is the forefront. He's the face of the scouts. And without him, there is no anything else. But Armin is the one who kind of been like pushing things to get things done. He has been the one to create plans and strategies to save the rest of his squad, to save the rest of his teammates, to save humanity. So Levi had to deal with that, and he ended up choosing Armin in a sense because Armin's dream. So Captain Irwin, Mikasa, Eren, they all have hatred. They all have hate in their heart, and they all want to see like certain things. They're more selfish regarding what they have done, but Armin's the only one who never really has that hate. He's more of a pacifist who just wants to see what's beyond the world. And Levi does hear this. There's actually some good writing here, because Levi does hear Armin's passion about seeing the sea and passion about going further beyond the walls. And that does play a role in him selecting Armin over Irwin when making the decision to make Armin the Colossal Titan. Krista Lentz, who's also known as Historia Fritz, I believe her last name is, she gets more character development. She is actually the queen of this land, of Paradise Island. She pretty much steps up in the role of a queen. She's like the girl who's like been the background, who kind of like fights for other people. Now she is the queen, so she's always gonna be fighting for other people and doing what's right for other people, because that's her nature. That's what she wants to do. And her background story is really sad because she has a mother who doesn't care for her at all, and she kind of earns that attraction, earns that recognition that, hey, I'm somebody, please recognize me. And she really said like, no, this is my life, I'm doing it for myself. And she actually goes against her father. But she has a pretty good arc in season 3. Kenny Ackerman, he is Levi's uncle, and he's somebody who kind of gives a little more backstory on the Ackerman past and really kind of develop like how he worked with the king. So you get more pretty much exposition through him and some action pieces. Levi, Captain Levi, who he is pretty much one of your other main characters. He is somebody who takes a commanding role, somebody who's reliable, kind of like Mikasa in a sense, where like he's a badass in a sense, but he's also an Ackerman. So him, Mikasa, and Kenny all have the same, like I mentioned before, DNA, and they are pretty much just badasses in their own right. But Levi does what he believes is best for the scouts and best for his regiment, and he follows whatever order need to be followed. And he made the tough decision of retiring Irwin or Armin. So speaking of Captain Irwin Smith, he is pretty much the commanding leader of the scouts. He finds a way to stage a coup to survive, to pretty much, because he has a goal to see what's beyond the wall as well. And he, unfortunately, a lot of people have died underneath his reign, underneath his command, to order to see what's beyond the wall, to get to Aaron's basement, to see what's beyond the wall. And he has lost a lot of life because of it, and he doesn't know whether or not he wants to continue forward or should he let himself die because of this. And there's a scene where he is forced to charge headfirst into the Beast Titan's assault, so Captain Levi has a chance to take out the Beast Titan. And when Levi has the option to revive Erwin, he actually slaps his hand away from Levi, and Levi's like, oh. And even though Captain Erwin was dreaming, Levi made the decision right then and there. He was like, probably should let him rest and keep Armin alive. But Erwin was a main focal point for a lot of this season for the Scouts, and his speech of charging headfirst into battle was a pretty dang good speech. I'm looking at a list here and I can't find Hanji, but I'm just going to talk about her. I kept calling her Hanji in the episode, or my review of season 1 and 2, and it's really Hanji. Hanji's another character who has stepped up. She is more aggressive, more like knowledgeable, more of a focal point in this season, and she has some pretty good action pieces too. Like, she's a pretty badass character in her own right. Rainer and Berthold, you learn more about their backstory. You learn more about, you know, why they're doing why they're doing what they want to do, why they want to go back and save Annie, and really Berthold, who is dealing with the fact that, like, he doesn't want to be a warrior, but he's doing it because he has a mission, and he's usually following the lead of Rainer, following behind Rainer. And he's like, I gotta make this for my chip. I gotta do this decision for myself. I have to fight on my own here. And he pretty much goes out as a fighter. Like, you get more of a backstory for Berthold. And then Rainer is Rainer. He is your antagonist to Aaron. And then you also have Zachary, or Zach, who is Aaron's older brother, who's the Beast Titan. Once again, you don't really know much about him, just know that he's doing what he's doing. He can command Titans like that. Rod Rice, so Historia Rice. I'm not sure why I call her Fritz, but Historia Rice is her last name. Rod Rice, who is Historia's father, who was the son of the king, who had the royal blood. His name about Zachary is Zeke. Sorry, Aaron's older brother is Zeke, not Zachary, who's the Beast Titan. And there's Hanji right there, Hanji Zoe. Who else is here? Grisha Yeager, who is Aaron's older father. You'll get to learn more backstory about him. You have Connie Springer, who is... Connie's there. He's pretty much there in this season. John Kristen. He grows on you. He's no longer the jerk that you saw in season 1. He actually is somebody now who's reliable, somebody that you can trust, somebody the gang trusts. Like, when Aaron, Mikasa, and Armin's not there, they look towards John and his decision making. Heck, Armin even gives John the reins in the battle for Wall Maria. It is a great character development for him, and he is somebody who even makes choices on who he should let join the Scouts. So John is a great character. And then last but not least, we got Sasha, and I can't think of her last name right now. It begins with a B. Barnes? Sasha Barnes Blouse? But Sasha, she is another solid character who's still comic relief, but they all really stay together towards the end and fight off the Titan and take back Wall Maria. Any last thoughts before I get into grading? The artwork is great, the animation is great, the music is great. It's pretty much everything about this is great. The pacing, however, is not as great. The first half of season 3 is slow. It takes time, a lot of exposition dump. So you have to pretty much do a lot of listening, a lot of just watching and seeing what's going on. You do a lot more backstory, and then you got little splash of action here and there, and then the latter half of season 3 is just pretty much all action. It completely takes out pretty much all the exposition and just full-fledged action. You really don't get much exposition into. So just like you love actions, the back half of season 3 is going to be all yours. You love exposition and history and world building, the first part of season 3 is going to be yours. And then the last 2 episodes is really just like more reveal and more backstory on Aaron's father's life and how he got to Paradise Island. I'm going to grade, well, I guess, is this a season you should watch? Yes, this is a season you should watch. And I'm going to grade season 3 of Attack on Titan a solid B. A solid B. The first half is kind of slow with some build up here and there, and the second half is purely action, but it's a B for me. If you guys seen Attack on Titan season 3, what do you think? Please put in the comment section below. I know it's been a long review. I wanted to get everything I can in this one, and I'll keep with the guys' thoughts on. Thank you guys so much for watching this episode of Movie Breakdowns series review, and see you on the next episode, and keep being awesome. Thank you guys for watching this episode. I really appreciate it. Please like, share, comment, subscribe. Also, you want to see what else I'm doing in my normal life and other things that's going on, please follow me on Instagram at Ali_Zakka. I'll put it right here around my face. Yep, right there. Also, if you want more episodes of movie breakdowns or grind towards success or whatever it is I'm doing on YouTube, you know what? Follow my page right here, like I said before, the little comment thing right there, And then you can watch the last episode of Movie Breakdowns right here, and watch the last episode of Grind Towards Success right there. Other than that, thank you guys so much. I really appreciate y'all. See y'all next time. Keep being awesome.